Welcome to New Life Live, the premier place to receive free advice from Christian psychologists and counselors for the mental, emotional, relational, and spiritual challenges you face. Since 1988, we've offered compassionate responses that combine God's truth with proven psychological principles to guide you toward healing. Our phone lines are open. Call us now at 1-800-229-3000.
Hey, thanks for watching. Thanks for watching? Yes, that's what you do when you listen and watch together. Watching. We've created a new word here on New Life Live. I'm your host, Brian Perez, and you are in great company today. Look who we've got. We've got Doctor of Marriage and Family Therapy, Sheri Denham Keffer here, as well as licensed marriage and family therapist, Dr. Jacqui Mack-Harris. They've always got good advice, sound advice, maybe even some advice you may not want to hear, but they do it in a loving and gentle manner, and that's why you trust us with your calls, with your concerns, and that's what we're going to be doing for the next hour. Ladies, great to be with you again. Sheri, why don't you start us off? What is on your mind?
Well, you know, we were talking with one of our listeners recently, and I have not stopped thinking about her. She was telling us a story about how she met this guy and she wasn't impressed with him, didn't like how he looked. Her gut instincts were saying something was off. But anyway, he did something which I think is not so uncommon, sadly. It's called love bombing. Love bombing. So what is love bombing? Love bombing is when somebody comes into your life in more of a flurry, like they're trying to gain your approval, they're trying to gain your acceptance, they're actually trying to cover up flaws, things that they don't want you to know about. But some people you would never know they had flaws because they are coming in their best Sunday dressed to impress you. So you might get gifts. You definitely get words of affirmation. They might say things like, I've never met anybody like you. And this caller was even told that he said, well, you don't want to die a woman that doesn't have anybody in her life, right? I mean, but the pull is to get you hooked. Now, why are they doing that? Their number one reason why they are love bombing you is they are trying to catch you in their net. They're trying to catch you in their net like a firefly. They're trying to put you in their jar because they have things that you have, that you have things that they want, right? So like a firefly that they're putting in the jar, it might be, and in this woman's case, it was like her financial. She was, financially established, had a home and all that. And he was coming from nothing.
Yeah.
And this is a pattern. But we ask the question, why was this woman duped? Why, those of you that are listening, they're like, I think I was love bombed too. The most painful part of love bombing is once that person has used you, has acquired what they want, they drop you like a hot potato because they're on to gather more. It's like somebody who's love bombing you to acquire more territory, more businesses, more relationships so that they have more to add to themselves. Usually these people have very low self-images and can be narcissistic, right? Oftentimes kind of that hollow self, but they are trying to make them better. So I don't know, Dr. Jacqui.
Well, they also will turn on you and try to make you feel bad about yourself and make you feel about yourself the way they really feel about themselves. And then others will jump on board. And so if you have a friend and somebody's in their life and they're saying all the right things and doing all the right things and giving them all the great gifts, and you might want to tell them to take a pause and slow down a little bit and pay attention.
Do not run.
Right. All of that is just distraction to keep you from seeing the truth.
Yep. If this is your story, we are here to help you at New Life Live. And if you're the love bomber, we want to help you too, because you need to stop.
I was stuck. I was so stuck. 27 years married. My husband addicted to pornography for the majority of our marriage. I was very isolated and didn't really know which way to turn.
If you've been affected by betrayal, an emotional or a physical affair, or pornography, Restore Intensive will equip you with support and tools to help you through.
When two people want to do their part, we can be restored. But if they don't, we can still be restored. We are not stuck because someone else made a decision. That God lets us weigh in on how we want to walk out our lives. Our wellness does not hinge on another person's decision.
The Restore Intensive is coming to Washington, D.C. November 7th to the 9th. Register online at newlife.com or call 1-800-NEW-LIFE and use the discount code NLL to save $50.
You guys helped me figure out what was going on.
1-800-NEW-LIFE and the discount code NLL. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
Welcome back to New Life Live. Brian Perez here, and Dr. Sheri Denham Keffer wants to say something.
I was like, hey. I just want to say one more thing that I didn't say. So if you are on the other side of a love bomber, how do you heal yourself? How do you get better? How do you look at yourself and go, why am I attracted to this? Why do I fall prey to this? And usually it's because of abandonment wounds, right? You may have been out of relationship for a long time. You may enjoy the flattery because you're like a Sahara Desert that's felt parched in the land of being single or not dating. And so get shored up with your girlfriends, with other relationships, stay with a good counselor or coach. Just don't isolate, because typically what happens is, when you're isolated, you fall more prey to people like this. So fortify yourself.
And this can happen with men too. So we don't want you to think that women don't do the same
It's
thing.
true.
Women are love bombers as well, and can come in and isolate you and take everything in the same way that a con man can do. A con woman would do the same.
Yeah.
And don't forget the obvious con people who are on social media. They send you friend requests out of nowhere, and then they start conversations with you, and they want you to send them money. And, oh, man, let's not get started on that, because we've got some phone calls to get to. We're going to start with B in Roslyn, Pennsylvania, listening on WEZE. Welcome, B, to New Life Live.
Hi. Thank you for taking my call.
Yeah.
Let me know if I'm too loud. My right ear has swimmer's ear, so if I talk loud, I apologize.
You sound perfect.
Okay. Perfect. This is not a love bomber kind of talk, but my question is, when something is held over your head constantly, so God has forgiven me for a lot of things. I've been a Christian since about 10, 11 years old, and it just seems as though I have a particular family member that whenever I provide advice, not advice out of my own because I want to, but just a godly advice to tell her to pray or something. It just seems as though, and other advice, she held this is what you always do, this is how you always react, that's why I can't talk to you, and this is how you always have been in the past. And it just kind of, now that I'm 48, it's my family member, my sister, who's 12 years younger, and it recently happened again after she asked me for a favor. And it just bothers me when someone has been doing that for such a long time. I am a happy married woman with wonderful teenage kids. I have a happy life. I am so grateful. Wonderful parents who are still alive and in their 80s. So I have a lot to be grateful for. But when that comes, I am torn down like a tree. Like, it bothers me so much, the conversation. And I'm not going to cry because I know I am saved and forgiven. But it just hurts me.
You being saved and forgiven does not negate your need to cry. So you can cry if you need to.
Yeah.
It doesn't change your relationship with God at all. It's not a lack of faith that you're crying. You're crying because this hurts. It makes you really sad that your sister feels this way. Your sister's 12 years younger than you. there are some things that you probably don't realize about what her perspective of life was like with you being the oldest. And so I'm just curious, were you parentified at all? Were you ever responsible for her? Did you have to kind of parent her, take care of her?
Absolutely. My parents were great parents, but they had my sister. My dad was 48 when he had her, and my mom was 38. They're 10 years apart. So,
and for a lot of us,
around.
that's
My
just
mom
what
was
family
48.
is. It's not a dig at the parents at all. Everybody did the best they could with what they had. But in that circle, in that situation, you become mom too. And there is a relationship that you had with your parents that she did not have. And so I just wonder if part of her reactiveness to you is she looks at you partially as mom and partially as sister. And there are times where she wants sister and gets mom. And then there are times where she wants mom and you got children of your own and she doesn't get that from you. And so when she says these things and pushes back and you feel bad, I wonder if there's some part of you that feels like, man, but I did all I could for you. I just want to help you. I love you. And this is how you repay it. And if that is there might be a part of you that recognizes that there may be some truth to what she's saying and that you have been parenting her. You've been a leader in her life and not a peer. And there might be times where that's what she's wanting. And so when she asks you for something, do you find yourself slipping into that that mentor parent role and educating her or sharing wisdom with her?
Not necessarily. So there's 5 of us. 3 of us are older. 2 of them are between 10 and 12 years younger. We were in college when she was finishing high school, but I don't, maybe you're right. I don't parent her. She'll ask me or she'll share. For example, she was dating someone. She was sharing with me. It was good. All of a sudden, if you don't mind, it's a 3-second story. And I found out he was a married man and she was going to go to California with him. And I said, nobody else in my family said anything. And I said, hey, Lisa, or I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said her name. Is this what God has for you? Is this in God's plan? God's plan. She told me I'm negative. This is how I've always been, blah.
So
and I said, I'm not. I'm just trying to look out.
But for her, it was negative. I don't disagree with what you said and why you said it. I think your challenge is to grow the tolerance inside for the pushback. If you are going to speak into someone's life, then be prepared for them to speak back. And we won't always like what they have to say, but it doesn't mean you were wrong for saying, is this what God has for you? Her pushback was that she didn't like it. Well, Scripture tells us that they're not going to like it, right? They're not rejecting you, they're rejecting the word. And she doesn't like that you made her feel some negative emotion. That's why she says you're always being negative, because when you bring something to her attention, it brings up negative emotion in her. So it might not be your perspective, and her perspective may be different. But if I were you, I would listen to her perspective, because it is telling you how she experiences you. And then you can choose to do something different or not. But I don't think there was anything wrong with what you said to her. And I understand her response to that. I think two things can be true at the same time.
Yeah, Sheri.
You know what, B? I wonder if you aren't a lover of truth and a lover of justice. Like, you love what's right. And I think about how Jesus had to mingle with everybody that he mingled with. And if Jesus would have come along in people's lives, and if he would have been like the Pharisees of that day, right, that were always there to fix or give answers or to spiritualize problems, I don't think he would have had the ministry that he had. And I don't know exactly how many times I wanted to try to Google it to see if I could find out. And I'm sure our listeners right now are Googling it, because I'm gonna ask. And if you're listening right now and you want to Google in on the chat with us, you can. But I know that Jesus asked a ton of questions. And so I might reframe for you the way that you are in life, with people, including your sister. I want you to practice something. And I want you to practice coming to relationships as a rabbi. Like Jesus was a rabbi. He asked a ton of questions. So even though your sister is coming to you and you found out this guy was a married man, now you are trying to protect her. And so in these kind of people that love truth and justice, what they do is they want to protect, so fixing equals love. Or trying to call up equals love. Or trying to give a biblical verse equals love. But how that other person experiences it is you're trying to tell me what to do. Just like Jacqui said, like you've been in that role, but it's not working. And so if you were to become a rabbi, this is what a rabbi would ask. A rabbi might say something like, you know, what's interesting is, I discovered that this guy is married. I'm just curious. What is it about you that would like to go travel with a married man? What are you hoping? What are you hoping will happen? Now, how you ask that is going to be everything. Are you asking that openly? Are you asking that openly and then you're going to lead into fixing? Right? Because it's the fixing, it's the controlling, it's the biblical preaching, it's all of that she is not okay with. It's not going to bring you closer together. She kind of needs more of a rabbi, because when we ask questions, it requires that somebody hears themselves talk. But it's a much more patient way of being in the world with people. It's slower. It's not a quick fix. And you have to be able to wrestle with your own uncomfortable feelings of her going the wrong way.
That's so different from how we've been taught to communicate with people,
Isn't it?
Because somebody asks a question and we just want to, here's the answer, instead of, that's why I like what we do here. We dig a little deeper with everyone who calls in, and sometimes they wind up answering their own question.
I have these three radicals: radical transparency, right? Radical authenticity. I invite everybody to show up as real as you can possibly be, but in order to have that, you need radical acceptance. And so if you could give your sister radical acceptance for who she is, that's what God's giving her. And then the radical transparency comes when we have radical acceptance, but it also requires radical forgiveness. And she's got maybe some work to do in her life, but the relationship with you is important. And if you are accepting of who she is, you don't have to accept her choices. They're not yours.
Oh, right.
Right? Her choices don't affect you except for in that you feel the feelings of the suffering of what she's going to end up going through. But
or she has to ask me for something. That's when it always happens, when she asks me.
When she asks you for something.
Okay, that's for favors, and it's just like, oh, okay, I can't even ask a question.
Well, but you can, because you get to have boundaries. And so if she's coming to you and asking you for something, say she's asking you to watch her dog while she travels to California. If she's asking you for something, you get to say yes or no if you're willing to do it or not. Am I willing to watch my niece and nephew while you go off to California as somebody's side chick? No. I can say no to that if I have problems with it. That's where you can let your will come into play, because you get to choose what you do for you, but you don't really get to.
She lives here now. And she's married to him. Yeah.
Okay, so they worked through all of that, but you're still having those conflicts.
There is other things. So that's one I think she keeps holding over my head, because that's what she's always.
So she's bringing that past experience up. When you say something, she's like, just like back then when you didn't believe in me.
Yes.
And now you're doing the same thing. But can you hear what she's saying and hear any truth in it?
I mean, explaining it the way you guys did. I just asked her 3 questions, and it was like, don't ask me questions. So I get what you guys are saying.
Well, and she gets to do that, but you still get to ask questions and be curious. And she can say no, she can choose not to answer the questions, but I do think that you get to ask. If someone's asking something of me, I might need more, I'm going to need more details. Even if it's my kid asking, can they go someplace when they were younger, I would need more details. And so I think being curious is important.
You know, it's so weird as I'm sitting here going, hi, my name is Sheri. I'm a codependent. And in my codependent recovery, I realized that I was a fixer. Mm-hmm. And I got little brownie points in my own mind when I would fix a situation. But fixers feel bad to people. We don't want to be fixed. We want to be listened to. And I want you to just consider. I want you to be very honest with yourself, and maybe have your sister be honest with you. If I start to fix you, will you tell me that I'm fixing you? I need to learn about this.
Yeah.
You got to be open with yourself about what you're doing and how much you're doing it.
We'll be back on New Life Live, and B, stay on the phone because we want to send you a resource from the newlife.com store.
I went to Every Man's Battle in 2012. My sexual integrity was not what it should have been. I sought out affairs, whether physical or emotional. Until I came to Every Man's Battle, I didn't understand that would never fill that void.
Every day, men struggle with sexual integrity. Impure thoughts, strip clubs, affairs, pornography.
The shame and guilt was overwhelming.
For over 20 years, New Life Ministries has been helping men regain their integrity and purity through their one-of-a-kind Every Man's Battle Intensive.
You will discover what the true root of your pain is, and you will discover how to overcome.
You don't have to struggle any longer. Get help in Cincinnati, Ohio, August 22nd through the 24th. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE to register or to find out more. 1-800-639-5433 or online at newlife.com. Enter the code NLL for a discount.
Every Man's Battle saved my life.
1-800-NEW-LIFE and the discount code NLL. Club New Life changes lives.
You guys came along into my life in 2022. That was a really, really difficult year of my life.
You can help New Life Ministries provide Christ-centered hope and counseling resources to thousands of people by joining Club New Life today.
I began to really process a lot of things that I've needed to for a long time, and y'all were a very big part of that.
When you sign up to support us monthly through Club New Life, you'll make a difference in the lives of individuals and families with godly counsel and connection to help.
I came out of it having never experienced anything like that, and y'all were there.
Join today and help continue the message of hope to a troubled world.
I knew I had to keep going, and I joined Club New Life, and y'all have been the resource that has now been a light for my wife and I.
Go to newlife.com/CNL, and together we can help hurting people find help and hope in life's hardest places.
Keep doing what you do because it makes a difference.
newlife.com/CNL. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
Seriously, thank you for supporting the work of New Life Ministries. You are a blessing. When you give to New Life, you provide help and hope through our ministry to a person that's facing a difficult situation. You can make a difference in that difficult situation by giving online at newlife.com, by calling 1-800-NEW-LIFE or texting NLM, as in New Life Ministries, to 28950. Back to the phones. We were talking to B, and for calling in today, B, we want to send you a copy of the book, How We Love, from the newlife.com store. Now let's talk to Charles in Philadelphia, listening on WFIL. Hello, Charles.
Hey, hello. How are you?
Doing well. How can we help you today?
I'm a mess. I've been married for 3 years to a woman. She's 17 years younger than me. I'm 63. And when I met her, I chased her. I put a lot of choices in front of her. We got married. I take care of all the bills. I do everything. The only thing that I asked from her when we got married is that I need love and affection, and if she ever wanted to decide to leave the relationship, that she let me know. So we got married, and we got married. Everything is fine now. I guess I'm changing the game. I don't want to be chased anymore. I'm waiting for my love and affection. And she's not an affectionate person. And I knew this kind of from the beginning, but the chasing put me in a position where I didn't see it or pay attention to that. And now that we're married and she doesn't touch me, the conversations are limited. When we can't have a deep conversation, or if it gets heated, she's always dismissive. And
did you think the intimacy would come naturally after everything that you were doing for her?
Yes, I did think that it would come naturally if you show signs of affection. And I tell her all the time, I say, nothing, we have to learn and be taught everything. And if you don't try, even if you fail, you can get better at it. A child has to learn by going to school, and it's all repetitive. But it has to be important enough to you in order for you to keep doing it. Are you going to be perfect all the time? I believe nothing is 100%.
Right.
Charles? I just heard a couple of things in what you were just sharing that you might not be aware of. And maybe you haven't spoken it to her in the way that I just heard it. But I heard teacher-student, parent-child, and that idea of her needing to be taught. I don't disagree. I think that often we expect things from children that they would have no way of knowing they're children, and they do need to learn and be taught. But this is a grown woman. Mm-hmm. And so the fact that there is conversation about her needing to learn things, I think could be a turnoff. And so I wonder if this relationship, one, you saw what you were getting in the brochure, but thought that you could help it be different, right? You could teach her. You could coach her into being more of what it is that you want in a partner. But she wasn't affectionate when you got her. And the chasing and the pursuing that you were doing was how she liked relationship. And now, like you said, you're changing the game. You're not chasing and pursuing anymore. You'd like to have her do some of that, as though the chasing and pursuing was really you kind of modeling for her what you wanted in a relationship. It sounds like you guys really need a good couples counselor, and How We Love would be a good book for you. It talks a lot about our different love styles and attachment styles, and the two of you have very different attachment styles, very different love styles, and that is showing up in the way you relate to each other. And because it's so different, there's what feels and sounds like put downs happening, because there's this judgment that the way you are is bad or wrong, when this is just who she is. She doesn't know necessarily why it is she's not affectionate, but there's probably some underlying reason, and you are probably stepping all over her landmines. And a good therapist could help you guys navigate that.
Yeah. Sheri?
Yeah, Charles, how long did you guys date? Or I should say, how short did you date?
We dated about 2 years before we became serious. And during those 2 years of trying to get to know each other, she was always saying that that I wanted wife privileges with girlfriend status. So I would always tell her, I said, the only thing I can do is model the husband that I want to be to you now, not still play around out in the street, but be committed to you and what I wanted before we got married. So when we do get married, I don't have to change.
Right, but let me ask you a question. This idea of wife privileges, but girlfriend status, were you guys sleeping together before you married?
Pardon me?
Were you sleeping together? Did you have sex before you were married? Okay.
Yeah.
And did she know about you talking to other women when you were dating?
Yeah, we both were.
Okay, well, we're going to come on back because I think we found a root.
Sounds like we did. We'll be back here on New Life Live.
I was sort of vaguely familiar that the 12 steps had some origination in the Bible. I found Life Recovery, and one of the things I liked so much was that it had such a broad appeal. It wasn't limited to just alcohol or drugs, that it was addressing a wide range of problems.
At New Life, we believe everyone can benefit from a life recovery experience. There are life recovery groups all over the country. They take place online, in conference calls, and in person. And if there isn't one in your area, we can help you start one. We have startup materials, leaders' guides, CDs, Bibles, and more, all with discounts available for groups. Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE and ask for Terry Ward. The 12 Steps have long been a great help to people in recovery because much of the 12 Steps' power comes from the fact that they capture principles clearly revealed in the Bible.
The 12 steps is really a pattern for all of us as Christians.
Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. Do you need help for life's hard situations?
My husband recently said he wanted a divorce.
I'm confused on what I should do.
I have an eating disorder.
New Life Live answers your questions on relationships, grief, addiction, trauma, anxiety, and much more, all from a biblical perspective with our panel of professional counselors and psychologists.
I learn a lot from your program.
You help so many people.
I appreciate your ministry.
Whether you listen or watch, there are so many ways to connect with us to ask our panel of counselors a question. Call us Monday through Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific at 1-800-229-3000 to ask your question on New Life Live. Or go to newlife.com/radio for other ways to get your question answered.
I'm trying to find help.
I just want to know how to set boundaries.
If it's a sin, what am I supposed to do?
Need a therapist or a coach, a resource, or an intensive? Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. 1-800-NEW-LIFE. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
And back to Charles in Philadelphia. Hey, Charles, you still with us?
Yes, I'm here.
So glad you held through the break.
Yeah, thank you, Charles. Well, we care about you and we care about your wife, and we're trying to unravel this story problem, right? And this is what counselors do when you end up in a counselor's office. We try to unravel that mystery that seems so frustrating to you. So here's how I see it. And I might be off, but I just want to say it like I see it. You guys entered into a relationship. You were having sex together. And there was also an openness in your relationship to see other people. Now, without realizing it, having been involved sexually, you all might have just thought, well, that's fine. We kind of have this open agreement. But what that did is it eroded safety and exclusivity.
Let me interrupt you for a second. So there wasn't an open agreement. When I met her and wanted to be with her, I only wanted to be with her. But if we wasn't married, she wasn't going to give me wife privileges as just being with me.
Right. So
are you saying she wouldn't be monogamous with you if she wasn't married to you?
Correct. So I was under the impression that we were, but it found out that she wasn't.
So you weren't seeing other people, she was.
Correct.
But I asked you the question earlier. You said you were too. You were also okay.
Because we wasn't married. So you are correct.
Okay, thank you. I was feeling a little cray-cray in the moment. I'm like, wait, did I hear him wrong, or am I just, So back to my point. When you're having sex, and that's kind of why God is so clear about the intimacy, sexual intimacy, and why it's it's something to be shared in marriage exclusivity, because if not, it becomes a hotbed for betrayals and trust issues. There's 1,000 paper cuts of trust between you two. And so she's shut down because for some reason she doesn't feel safe with you. Now, it might be because you came across and you're kind of more of in a parental role, or it might be because she's looking back when you were dating and it's like she's like, well, you were talking to so-and-so. And then you're like, well, you were talking to so-and-so. And so you guys are like poking on each other's paper cuts. Paper cuts. So you're going to need to do some repair work before things feel safe. Mm-hmm. And if there is, and I'm just saying this because you haven't brought it up, and I'm not saying you're doing this, but if there's any pornography in the relationship right now, if because, you know, she hasn't been with you sexually, if you've somehow in your mind told yourself it's okay to look at porn because she's not giving you sex, I want you to get help for that. Because that is also eroding your intimacy in your marriage. And that's why we have every man's battle. So there just needs to be some very honest conversations about sexuality and trust and safety in order for there to be even a starting ground for you guys in this brand new marriage.
Yeah. Having a counselor walk through all of this with you, I think, is key. Because you shared with us that you gave her your expectations for marriage. We don't know what her expectations are or were, and a therapist can help you guys come up with a good vision for your marriage, do the repair work that Dr. Sheri is talking about, changing the way that you communicate. That's why we're recommending the book, How We Love. There is a comfort circle in there. It's a way of having a discussion that can go deeper, that focuses on the person that is presenting the issue. And finding a therapist that uses How We Love could help you guys walk through that comfort circle. And we just hope that this helps you all heal your relationship.
All right, Charles, thanks for calling in today. We're going to send you a copy of How We Love. We can also put you in contact with a counselor or therapist in your area. And if you are having an issue with pornography, like Sheri mentioned, the Every Man's Battle Intensive is happening later this month, August 22nd through the 24th in Cincinnati. And there's also the Intimacy and Marriage Weekend that you and your wife can attend. That is in October in Dallas. More details at newlife.com or call 1-800 New Life. Let's talk to Donna in Memphis, Tennessee, listening on Sirius XM channel 131. Hey, Donna, welcome.
Hi, good afternoon. Thank you for talking to me.
Of course. Thanks for calling in. Thanks for talking to us.
I've listened to you guys for about 20 plus years. First time calling in.
What took you so long?
So I've got, I guess I just need a little clarity and some direction. I've been divorced about 4.5 years. Started, and I did not see anyone during this time. Did some work on myself and basically said, God, if you're going to bring someone, you know, if you want someone in my life, you'll have to bring him. So fast forward, February of this year, someone did come into my life. I did not seek him out. We connected really well. It was a fast connection. Started seeing each other in February. We split up in March, 5 weeks. He completely shut down, no conversation, no talking. He said, my heart is shut down. I just can't. I need time. Okay. This is after telling me within a week or two, he was in love with me. I was his soulmate. At some point wanted to get married. Okay. So fast forward, April, he decides, you know what? I love you. I miss you. I want to be with you. I think we're supposed to be together. Let's restart, rebuild, he said. Okay, so we did. Tomorrow will be week 3 again of another shutdown. No conversation, no nothing. You cannot. That's him. So I am by far, we all have baggage, which I realize. And he told me up front, he said he was screwed up from childhood stuff and a bad 30-year marriage. And I know we all have baggage, but like I said, we connected, we communicated really well, didn't see this coming, certainly didn't see it a second time.
Yeah.
So I've been doing a little research. While I know I have my own attachment style, I've been reading about avoidance.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. So I guess my question is, one, I don't think this is meant for me, but how do you know that this was from God or not? Because I don't think God brings us dysfunction in our life to this level. This is someone who refuses to communicate or acknowledge anything. And what it results from is, if I bring up, so the first time I brought up something, I was a little explosive about it because I didn't, it was new and I was put into a situation. And so the second time, same thing, similar situation, but I was spoke to him quietly, said, let's talk about this. We need to tweak some things. He just shuts down.
What's the thing that you were a little explosive about? Could you elaborate a little bit more?
It's going to sound really petty, but
That's
it's
okay.
not. So in the beginning of the relationship, when he told me he was messed up, he's got a lot of things that he's not dealt with, but he deals with. It's insecurity and low self-esteem and some other things. And he also said, I have an unhealthy relationship with my dog. And again, this is going to sound petty, but he really, truly does. The dog, her feelings, what she wants, it is priority. The house, you can tell the house, it's the dog's house. It's a dog house, seriously. And try to work with him on that. So again, we do this again. This comes up. I don't want to sound so petty, but it's pretty serious.
I would say it's very serious.
You know, you probably feel like it's petty because it's not something that's very common, and most people are like, oh, it's just a dog. But you're having a reaction to it for a reason. What's your question around this situation?
Around this is, well, I know that's a problem. And I've gone to 2 counseling sessions because I want to understand this. I don't think this is salvageable because this is not healthy.
The music is coming. We want to help you. So can you give us the question? We don't want it to end without being able to answer your question.
The question is, I mean, does this not sound like an avoidant person who's got some serious deep issues that they're just not going to deal with?
Okay. You are probably right, and I think the book How We Love could be really helpful. It could help you understand yourself, help him understand himself, help you understand him, and give you some more insight. That research you're doing is probably pretty good. Figuring out whether he's an avoider and what's going on with you would probably be the most helpful next step, and a good counselor could help you do that.
And we'll see what Dr. Sheri has to add to the conversation as well when we come back here on New Life Live. So stay on the phone, Donna. We'll be right back.
Here at New Life, we want you to have transformation. And so we have created the New Life courses, and you meet weekly on Zoom with a coach or counselor. You're going to have teaching as well as that group connection, because we know how powerful that is. We hear that all the time about our intensives, that they love the information, but the group process is so powerful. And many of you have been hesitant to participate because you're not sure, the timing, the price. The New Life courses are going to meet you right at that area of need. Every week you're meeting on Zoom with that therapist. You're going over the concepts as well as connecting as a group. It is so powerful, and it's accessible. Wherever you are, you're going to be able to join us.
Embark on your journey of personal growth and self-discovery in September with a New Life course. Lose it for life, take your life back, or healing is a choice. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433 or online at newlife.com. Club New Life changes lives.
I think I go way back to listening to New Life, learning so much from it, and then becoming a Club New Life member.
Club New Life is a monthly giving family that helps New Life Ministries provide Christ-centered hope and counseling resources to thousands of people.
I'm so thankful because why I keep giving? Because I keep learning, and I'm so thankful for all the lives that you touch every day and the people's lives. So when I get to still hear the radio show, it's just so encouraging to my heart.
When you sign up to support us monthly through Club New Life, you'll make a difference in the lives lives of individuals and families with godly counsel and connection to help.
And you know one reason I give? Because I feel like sometimes I'm hiding behind a counselor's couch listening to all this great information and not paying. So my guilt of this great advice is alleviated by being a Club New Life member.
Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. And together we can help hurting people find help and hope in life's hardest places. Call 1-800-639-5433 to join Club New Life today. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
And let's go back to Donna in Memphis, Tennessee. You still with us, Donna?
I am.
All right. Thanks for holding through the break. Sheri, what did you want to ask Donna?
Rough. I'm saying rough. You know why? Because Donna, I was married to an avoidant. His name is Connor. And we had a dog. I gave him a dog for Christmas. But you know what happened is I became so jealous of that dog. It was rough. That's why I said rough, because it was rough. Because I was jealous of that dog because he loved that dog more than he had the capacity to love me as a human.
Yes.
And I want you to trust your instincts with that.
Okay.
Don't tap it down. Your instincts are there for a reason.
Yep.
It's not little. But I think what's happened, I think you are so Sahara Desert, 4.5 years, lonely, really want to be in relationship, that we can spiritualize this. God brought him into your life, and I don't think that God brings in dysfunctional people. Bottom line is, God is for you. And there is going to be people that come in and out of your life, but there is a process that you can get into to raise the quota for gentlemen that you could meet. It's just you're kind of in this deprivation place. So Mr. Rough comes along and you are feeling like, am I doing something wrong? Is this God? Am I breaking away from something that maybe God wants me to work on? I'm like, no. Trust your instincts. Stay in your counseling. And then see what you can do to open your heart and life up to people that are more available emotionally. And the book, How We Love, will help you do that. So that's what we're going to send her, right, Brian?
Yes, it is. Donna, thank you so much for calling us today here on New Life Live. And let's see, let's talk to Levon in Birmingham, Alabama, listening on newlife.com. How can we help you today, Levon?
Hi, how are you?
Doing great.
Yeah, I am... having issues, and I was hoping that you could kind of give me some direction. So we have a 37-year-old daughter who has basically, we've discovered that we have been enabling. And sometimes he will take away privileges from our grandkids when she doesn't see things the way that we see them. Even though she's made a tremendous amount of errors in her life and continue to do so, but come back to us after the errors are made, and we've decided that we're not doing that anymore. We're not supporting that anymore. And, of course, that's been a struggle with her because we are doing things differently. So my question is, what does boundaries look like to bring someone in your, or her in particular, back into our lives? What does boundary look like to have her in our life and not, and also wanting to be involved with the new grandkids without us feeling that we're going to go back to that place that we used to be with her, which is allowing her to control us.
Yeah. Doctor.
But you are enabling with money or what? With your presence, time, or what?
We were enabling her pretty much most of her life. Whenever she got in trouble, whether it was college or whatever, we rescued her.
You rescued her.
You are rescuing her. You've been rescuing her.
And when you don't rescue her, she cuts you off?
Pretty much. And now it's relationships. Whenever the relationship, she gets involved with the relationship, whether it's changing her religion or whatever, it ends up sour, and then she comes back to us even if she doesn't want to listen to us.
So the listening part, right? You guys are advising her. She's not taking the advice. It goes bad. She comes back with whatever the results of the problem were. The question is, how do you set, what are boundaries, or what does it look like? And it looks like whatever you and your husband decide it looks like. You get to decide what's okay for you and what's not okay for you. So you first have to figure that out between the two of you. And then it looks like that other person getting to have their response, whatever it is. And so you set a boundary and you say, well, this is just an example. If you live with us, you have to be inside the house by 2:00. That's just a rule for our safety, so we can get a good night's sleep. If that were a boundary and she came in at 2:30, then what was the consequence that you set? Because then the boundary needs to be enforced by the consequence. And so whatever you decide is a boundary for you, you'll have to be ready with those consequences and be ready for whatever her response to that is. And so if she says, well, I'm mad at you because you don't agree with my new religion, or you don't like my new man, or you don't like where I've chosen to move to, then she gets to be mad at you, and you'll just hold that space, because otherwise you will continue to do what you've always done because you don't like the discomfort of the disagreement. But holding a boundary means that they get to have whatever their response is. And if she's mad about it and doesn't like that you guys aren't in agreement, there isn't anything you can do about that except for do your own work so that it isn't impacting your relationship with your spouse, and that you're not carrying around guilt and shame.
Okay.
Sheri?
Yeah, it's so interesting. It's so hard, isn't it, being a parent and living with regrets? Like, I know that there are people listening that have younger children right now, and I just want to say to them, don't do for your children what they can do for themselves.
Amen.
Like, let them fail. Let them have to work through distress tolerance. Normally, when we don't do that is because as parents, we have feelings in ourselves that we don't like. We don't like the anxiety. We don't like the feeling of, I'm a bad parent. If
we don't
this
have
child,
the distress tolerance.
Yeah, we don't have it. So there's been somewhat of a looping. The performance, if she performs a certain way, you reward her. If she fails because she doesn't know how to do it for herself, then love equals rescue instead of love equals, I'm sure you're going to figure it out. You're going to work it out. We're here. We love you. But we know that there's some maturity that's going to happen. And so we would love to have you meet with a counselor. Like, we would love to have you begin to work through some things. So maybe Parenting Adult Children by Jim Burns. Okay. I just feel like Jim Burns is probably your guy. He's on the show. And we would love to have you call back maybe when Jim's on the phone. Listen, because he is so good with these kind of situations. Because they can feel so complex.
Yeah, it's hard doing life with your adult. That's the book, Doing Life with Your Adult Children.
Yeah.
But as a mother of adult children, my husband and I have sat and had the conversation. We wish our children had this version of us when they were little, but they didn't. Mm-hmm. And therefore, they're going to have some challenges. Our upbringing for them left some marks, just like happens with all parents. We all do the best we can. But we have had to lament the fact that we did not allow them to struggle. We took the struggle out so much that now in their young adult life, they're having to learn how to struggle, because we did take a step back and take our hands off. And we're still there. We're still a safety net. But also, our children have to use their minds and think critically and figure out how to overcome things. And as Gen Xers, that was just our childhood. And so we are very resourceful, but we took that away from our kids. And you may have done some of that, and you recognize that you guys were enabling. And so now the work is for you and your husband to figure out, how do you grow your own distress tolerance? Because she has a low distress tolerance because you guys didn't have any distress tolerance to allow her to fail and get back up again. You just kept picking her up again.
So when it comes to, we're almost out of time? No, how did that happen? I was just going to ask a quick question about boundaries, but the music's about to start. There it is. And I'll just ask you off the air. But basically, boundaries are something we set up, so there's never really a limit.
Right.
Nothing can be seen as harsh because it's our own.
It's our own needs, our own what's okay for us and what's not.
Yeah. All right. God bless you guys. We'll see you at church on Sunday, and please call us on Monday. We'd love to hear from you then.
Thanks for listening. We hope this program has helped you by giving you insights for handling the challenges you face in your life. We want you to know that we're here for you, but you also need to know that New Life Live is a listener-supported ministry. To make your donation or to get any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433 or online at newlife.com. Please join us again on Monday for New Life Live.